Sky Squad, we are back in the building. And yes, it is relatively soon after our last video. But when the news drops, I mean, we got to make it pop. And so we're going to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac. It looks like we've got some movement, y'all. So we're going to talk about it and get into all the juicy details. Before we do so, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button. Also, like this video if you like reality TV related content. And also be sure to tap into Amazon.com and pre-order the new book, Wickedest Wives, Book 2 in the series of Vicious Reality about a former news journalist who joins a reality TV show. And then there's murder, mayhem, and all types of chaos that goes along with it. So let's get into the tea. Okay, we got some exclusive tea from B. Scott. Okay, exclusive from our people's B. Scott. Let's get into it. Now, a little, just a little bit of a teaser for us. I would believe that we could probably start hearing some things that become a bit more concrete within the next 2 weeks or so. That is my estimation. Okay, so it is all over the place. B. Scott has the exclusive that the Real Housewives of Atlanta is not filming just yet, but will begin filming later this month. Okay, so when you go into the article on lovebscott.com, which is the link will be in the description so that you guys can read it for yourself. The network sources confirmed to Love B. Scott that filming has not yet begun and that production is scheduled to start later this month. All right. Now, you guys may recall that B. Scott provided the exclusive that producers were sort of seeking to give us a little bit of a reboot with the cast, with a fresh batch of peaches. But we know that Portia Williams and Kenya Moore have both signed on, and so that's already set. I'm assuming we're going to have to get some of this Portia and Simon madness as we've talked about, but who knows what we'll actually get. Kandi Burruss has chosen not to return this season. As you guys know, Kandi will be going on tour with Escape and SWV, and your boy is going to be in the building at one of those stops. Sanya Richards-Ross and Marlo Hampton have both also confirmed their respective departures/firings. So B. Scott says, while we'd love to share the rest of the ladies who will be rounding out the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 cast, we have to wait until a few more things get finalized first. So, okay, so let's get into it. As you guys know, part of the fun for me when we talk about casting, well, actually in between seasons, as we're ramping up with filming, has always been the casting and the speculation and the conjecture. So that is what this channel is about. We're here to have fun, right? So let's have fun with it. So let's ask ourselves some key questions, because that's what I was asking when I heard this. And I'm going to give you a little bit of tea that I also heard myself personally from a source that is very close to production as well. Okay. Now, I had heard that it would start next week. That is what I heard. Okay. But I always trust the B. Scott exclusives. So I think that both of them are correct. And that filming, let's go. Okay. All right. Who else could be potentially returning? Notice we've heard nothing about Drew not returning. Notice we've heard nothing about Sheree not returning. Okay. Now, it could be a situation where contracts are still being finalized. I personally think that Kandi leaving may have thrown a slight monkey wrench in some of the plans. So I don't know. I really don't know. But I can tell you what my source told me is that it was next week. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm assuming we're going to get some tea at some point in time, like I said, within the next 2 weeks, because, I mean, that information never stays under wraps, right? I would personally, listen, I love Sheree. Because Sheree is, I mean, she's obviously a bombshell. She's got the look, but what is she giving us that's new that adds to the story and makes this season feel fresh, right? Um, I don't know. I don't know. It feels like for the past two seasons, her focal points and her focal, like her central stories have somewhat seemed to fizzle. Like, the fashion show and the launch of the fashions and the level of chaos surrounding that, the charade and Martell of it all that just never quite seemed to hit or feel believable in any way, shape, or form. So I don't know, outside of being the bone collector, I mean, maybe that's needed, but I just think that Sheree feels more at this stage of the game like an more of the ensemble type player and less of like the lead, like maybe a Portia or a Kenya might be, or a Candy for that matter. Drew is an interesting cast member to me. I have always stated I love Drew as an actress. Okay. If I'm producing something, I would snatch her up in a heartbeat, okay, to star in it. My problem with Drew for me has always been, as I've always stated, I need you to, for me, I need to feel as though I believe and I understand your story. And I never feel like I quite always understand or believe in it. Um, because it never feels clear or concrete to me. So I don't know. I'm not mad if Drew comes back because of the relationship that she had with Portia. So I feel like that could be a good feel good situation. And Drew and Kenya seem like they're on pretty good footing as well. So this would be a good starting point. And I feel personally we keep those and then we build from there. And then for the sake of the nostalgia of it all, we bring in Sheree to mix it up as a friend. That's me, but that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. All right, so let's talk about our next story really quickly. It's really just a bit of like, um, it's like a little, it's maybe like a jasmine tea. It ain't really like an Earl Grey or a breakfast tea that's gonna wake you up. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little light jasmine. You know what I'm saying? And I like a little light jasmine tea sometimes because you need a little light jasmine to balance out the boldness and the caffeine in the English breakfast tea and the Earl Grey. Okay, chime down in the chat which you prefer: Earl Grey, English breakfast, or jasmine. Anyway, speaking of jazz hands and jasmines and whatnot, we have here Giselle and Ashley have been spotted filming in Washington, D.C. Okay. Yes, we knew that Giselle was back. Yes, we knew that Ashley was back in the building. And it seems as though filming is already in high gear. Okay. But I want to see them filming with the newbies, right? I don't really want to know what's going on, to be quite honest with you. Like, I like going into Salt Lake City and being completely shell shocked, surprised, gooped, gagged at the Monica of it all and the reality Von Tease of it all. So, while even though I am wanting to know the details and the tea about who's joining Atlanta, what I don't want to know is overall story until it's time for us to see the trailer. Mostly because I do, like I said, I think there's something to be said for the cast when they can keep something under wraps. Yes, give us some teasers of your confessional looks. That's cool. Show us them filming at locations. That's cool. But don't tell me the central story. and it better not be about a shrine, okay? Like I don't want no more of that. I want my housewives to feel like fun stuff, like and petty drama that is fast paced, and that's it. If the producers realize that, then I feel like they would know how to make a good show. And I'm gonna tell you one more thing: where Jersey and Married to Medicine get it absolutely correct. If I am not mistaken, Jersey and Married to Medicine typically give us 12 to 14 episodes. Boom. Do you know what that does? That makes for storytelling that has to be rapid fire, quick, and things have got to move and shake. There is no time for filler. And if every Housewives season, in my opinion, were that length, then I think that the audience would enjoy it more. Production could film faster and put it out faster because waiting an entire year to put out a season is just unacceptable at this point, especially because I need look no further than VH1 and OWN to see that it can be done lightning fast. Okay. So let's get this thing popping. I mean, what I love also too about, OWN and VH1 is they'll put out the show while they still filming. Like that's where I feel like we need to be. Okay. But that's neither, I'm ain't nobody asking me. Okay. So you get a little bit of lightweight like action here. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere. They're talking. They're having a ponderosa. So shout out to whoever caught this bit of intel. Like I said, jasmine tea. It ain't Earl Grey. It ain't English breakfast, but it's just a little something to satiate our appetite and give us something to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like we always do. Listen, that is it for this video. Y'all, we have made it halfway through the week. It is officially hump day, and we are officially nearing the end of the road. Okay, so I want you guys to enjoy your week, make the most of it. If anything else pops off, I won't be back tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow with more intel. All right. So, with that being said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell button, and also tap in on that like button if you like reality TV related content. And of course, I will catch you in the next video.